What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the CotAcasT. My name is Brian Bermudez, and I'm the host of the Craft of the Air podcast, the aviation podcast that expands your knowledge in each episode. Join us as we explore the untold world of aviation together. I'm so glad that you guys are tuned in for another episode. And welcome to another episode. Today we're delving into a really an unyielding subject matter. The real this relationship that we have between aviation maintenance and safety. Last week's episode of the CotAcasT, we spoke a little bit about that process of becoming an A&P and what the day and night life is like being an aircraft maintenance engineer. And in this episode, really highlighting aviation maintenance safety, utilizing historical accidents really as our classroom. We will unearth the far-reaching consequences of each maintenance shift and the shift and what it has on every essence of aviation maintenance. We dive into it all. First things first, today's episode of the CotAcasT is brought to you by Craft of the Air. Stuck on ideas, looking to facilitate advances in aviation maintenance? Consulting by Coda possesses the unique resources to elevate your aviation projects and tasks to new heights. Get comprehensive advice, detailed reports, and cutting-edge data on innovative solutions that empower you to make confident decisions. Are you an A&P student? Need a refresher? Look no further than Cram by Coda. Consolidated reviews of aviation maintenance, consolidated tailored courses of your choice, and is led by a certified A&P subject matter expert and ensures that you're fully prepared to excel in any aviation maintenance exam. With aviation maintenance training and consulting, Code is a second you when you need it. Personal aviation assistant for everything in the field of aviation maintenance. Visit www.craftoftheair.com. Again, that's www.craftoftheair.com today and learn everything Coda can do for you. Craft of the Air, our craft is of the air. So now, it's crazy. First up, let's really look at the gravity of maintenance. According to the FAA, approximately 12% of all commercial aircraft accidents are due to maintenance-related issues. In the period between the year of 2010 and 2019, Boeing data, get this, revealed that there were 0.58 fatality hull loss accidents, so that's a mouthful, per million departures globally. And a mere 12% of these might seem insignificant, but each accident, it impacts countless lives and resources. For perspective, the estimated global economic cost of aviation accidents is around $2.8 billion annually. And it begs the question, how much of this could be mitigated with flawless maintenance? The first of our case studies takes us to Spain, where Spaniard Flight 5022 crashed in 2008, and this tragic accident resulted in 154 fatalities. Investigators concluded that the disaster originated from a failure to set the flaps and slats correctly. A standard, pre-flight check bypassed during maintenance. Notably, the plane had returned to the gate prior to takeoff for maintenance on an overheating air data computer. And this, drawing the attention away from the routine checks, and this compartmentalized and maintenance tasks, I ask, could it be a silent killer? Now let's journey back to 1988. We're going back to 1988 and the incident of Aloha Airlines Flight 243. The explosive decompression of this aircraft experience was caused by corrosion and metal fatigue, both maintenance issues. And surprisingly, only one fatality occurred during this. Airlines Flight 243. This particular incident led to the introduction of new regulations, really concerning the inspection of older aircraft for structural weakness. As of 2022, approximately 44% of the world's commercial aircraft fleet is more than 15 years old. And that's interesting. Is age just a number, or is it a ticking time bomb in aviation? We move on to the next segment and go into the year 2001. In 2001, American Airlines Flight 587, it plunged into the residential neighborhood of Queens, New York, my hometown neighborhood. Tragic. And what a tragic year. American Airlines Flight 587, it plunged into a residential neighborhood in Queens, New York, minutes after takeoff. And this is killing all 260 people on board, and unfortunately 5 people on the ground. Now, the NTSB found that the plane's vertical stabilizer had failed. When the pilot action was immediate cause, it was really inadequate training to deal with such issues. It was really the significant contributing factor. And I bring this into the conversation because now the interplay between maintenance and pilot training need to be examined. Does it need to be altered? Does it need to be closer collaborations? Moving on to United Airlines Flight 232. This one's back in 1989, and really in another case that deserves our attention. This one was with a DC-10, and it faced a catastrophic engine failure. This was mid-flight, and this was due to fatigue cracking in the fan disc. And this was with 112 out of 296 passengers losing their lives. The NTSB found that better inspections could have detected this defect. And the technology to identify such defects exists. In fact, non-destructive testing, NDT. My students watching, listening, NDT. These types of techniques can detect up to 90% of these types of faults. Are we employing these types of technologies across maintenance programs? Are they easily accessible in maintenance programs? We fast forward to the year of 2020, and we look at Alaska Airlines Flight 261. And Alaska Airlines Flight 261, it nosedived into the Pacific Ocean. All 88 occupants unfortunately perished. Now, the NTSB investigation identified that insufficient lubrication of a jack screw assembly was the cause of this very, very tragic incident, something that makes me very sad to speak about and think about. Working for Alaska, and this critical yet straightforward maintenance task was overlooked. It led to a catastrophic failure. And to underscore its simplicity, proper lubrication procedures, they can cost as little as $200, but can avert disasters worth millions, and let alone millions of lives. Does this make you question, really this effort and impact in maintenance tasks that we may have? People watching or listening, not necessarily working in aviation, doesn't make you think about it a little bit more? Really steering the conversation back to the broader data. Let's examine the role of each maintenance shift. An FAA study indicates that approximately 70% of potential catastrophic maintenance errors are caused within the same shift. However, what lurks within that remaining 30%? That's the question. And oversight on a single maintenance shift could very well escalate into a fatal event. Does this raise questions about the rigor of end of shift audits? You know, as we approach the end, let's not forget the human factor. Safety management systems, SMS, they've been introduced to make safety an organizational, a priority. And the International Civil Aviation Organization, or ICAO, mandates that SMS for all member states. And yet the rate of adoption varies really significantly. What steps should regulators take to ensure a universal culture of safety? You know, so what can we do as vested parties, in this multi-faceted aviation ecosystem? Awareness and active engagement it's crucial. It is crucial. And we need to hold the industry to a higher standard, ever vigilant against the smallest slips in maintenance protocols. Now we want to hear from you. Do you, as a listener or viewer, thank you for watching. I appreciate that. Subscribe. Do you, as a current aviation maintenance professional or enthusiast, do you think maintenance standards currently meet the mark? Are there areas that you perceive lacking? Share your thoughts. As we begin to wrap this up, that does wrap it up for this week's episode of the CotAcasT. If you guys have not done so already, check out the Craft of the Air website at www.craftoftheair.com and get your free initial consultation today. Craft of the Air, our craft is of the air. Comments or suggestions about this or future episodes, let's get in touch. Visit that Craft of the Air website at www.craftoftheair.com. Go to the contact and dropping the subject CotAcasT. Thanks again for listening to today's episode of the CotAcasT. Be sure to follow and subscribe to the Craft of the Air Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and also be sure to follow us. You can also catch us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. Thanks again for listening. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great and safe week. We'll be seeing you soon.